because I've had a dog before and he passed away and it was very sad, but we only had him a couple years. He dealt with some diseases. But it's interesting how, as people, we buy something that we're going to love, that's going to love us, but it's only for 10 years. And like literally, you're making, if you're lucky, a 10, 11-year investment, and then you're going to be heartbroken.
Even though I don't believe it, I don't like when people say like, "I don't have children, but I have pets." It's like it's not the same, you know.
Yeah,
Like
it's not.
it's
It's
not
not. And
really.
I and I
So
and I wish I could punch those people in the throat that say that. But yeah.
yeah.
Hey, what's going on? It's Michael Yo. Welcome to the Yo Show. I got to say, I'm in Atlanta right now. Rudy, where are you?
I seriously, I don't know if I could be further away from you at this moment. You are in one of the biggest metropolises in America, and I am staring at a cornfield in Wisconsin. We're staring at an Airbnb. This is like a little house on the prairie.
How far out is it, like from like city life in Wisconsin?
I'm right in between Milwaukee and Green Bay, so it's about an hour to each. The Green Bay is probably a little closer, probably about 50 minutes, but Milwaukee is probably about an hour. So
Okay. And,
it's the
and what are you
closest
doing
thing to
out there?
civilization. Just out here working. I'm on the road right now doing shows, and we got a show at the Paps Theater tonight. Which, man, I don't know if you've ever been to that venue before, Michael. It's beautiful.
Is it?
It's stunning. I know. Yeah. Well, I think this city gets overlooked. Milwaukee gets overlooked because it's Wisconsin and it's not a big market, and but there's a lot cooking, man. You got the Brewers, you got the Bucks, you got Pfizer Stadium, you got great beers, you got good people. It's where it's at, man. Like it's definitely worth checking out sometime if you ever want to
Oh, yeah.
get out of Vegas or Atlanta.
Well, I'm going to be at the Ice House next Friday. Next Friday, I'm actually going to
Yeah.
be at the Ice House. There's only like 10 tickets left, so definitely do that. I'm only doing one show, and then actually I jump on a plane and fly right back, I think. And we should start production here anytime soon. I mean, we're running a couple weeks behind because of stage and things like that, but I'm excited, man. Everything's going well. Love Atlanta. I've been going up at the Laughing Skull, which is a legendary place. It's just a kill box. It's a freaking kill box. It only holds like
Really.
100 people maybe, but
Hmm.
it's amazing. And then August 15th and 16th, or 16th and 17th, I can't remember the dates. You're going to come out here to Atlanta,
Can't wait,
and we're
man.
doing Atlanta Punchline, which is an awesome
Hmm.
place too. So if you live in Atlanta, I want to see you, Atlanta Punchline. But let's jump into some news, man. First, I want to start, and I know it's very sad for you, but your dog passed away.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Thanks, man.
and I know, and the thing is that with this podcast, we want people to get to know really us and things that affect us. And I know, like, you were torn up about it, your daughter was torn up about it. So I'm gonna give you this moment, to talk about your dog.
Well, thanks, man. Appreciate it. Yeah. It's obviously it's sad anytime something like that happens, but the way I look at it was, bulldogs. He was an English bulldog. His name was Paul. He was named after Paul McCartney, and we were playing Paul McCartney like probably 45 minutes before our vet came and put him down, and yeah, we got a couple of good banger tracks in there, and then all of a sudden, right when she walks in the door, the Paul McCartney "Live or Let Die" kicks
Oh my
on. I
god!
was like, maybe we should turn this one. Let's just skip through. We don't need to
Right?
listen to this one. He was 11 and a half. They typically live 8 to 10 years, so I felt like we were on borrowed time. I didn't think I was going to be that torn up about it, but man,
Even before he died, I knew you were going to be torn up about it. Or did you
yeah.
really think you weren't?
I knew I would be sad. I didn't think I'd be like, I mean, dude, I drove because I was supposed to leave Vegas Monday morning and then was going to get to Minneapolis late Tuesday night. I was on Kimmel's Saturday night. I got off stage and my mom called me and said, he's not going to make it to Tuesday. Like, if you want to see him before he dies, you're going to have to get home now. So I went
Wow.
home that night. I packed up. I left Vegas Sunday morning at 5 a.m. and basically drove 24 hours straight. I
Oh
stopped
my
outside of,
gosh.
and yeah, I stopped outside of Lincoln, Nebraska to catch like 90 minutes of rest at about 3 in the morning, and then got right back up and then got to my sister's place where my dog was. And he was of all the days, like the last like 3, 4 days, the day saw him, that last day, he was probably in the best mood that he was in, because he was throwing up a lot and he couldn't keep down food. He couldn't eat. and it was all heart disease, and it was just awful to watch him. He was having a hard time walking. So I felt like, because the whole drive, man, I'm just like, I'm sobbing, and I'm like, oh my God, I'm losing my dog. And he was part of this family for so long. And, I'm like, am I making the right decision? And then I get to my sister's place, and I see him struggling to get up the stairs. And I'm like, oh, we're making the right choice.
Yeah.
And then, my sister had called because our vet is a family member. She's a cousin of mine. And she said, hey, by the way, Alicia can be there at 2:00. And like, that's when it really sunk in, like, oh my gosh, this is really happening. And then, yeah, they came, they did a wonderful job. We listened to Pearl Jam. We listened to Just Breathe. Great song. It's one of my favorite songs of all time. It's got a great line on there where he says, I'm a lucky man to count on both hands the ones I love. It's one of my favorite lyrics ever. So
Mhm.
we listened to that, and then that was that, man. They put him down, and we put him in the back of my cousin's car, and off he went. We had to take him to the ER on Saturday night. My mom took him, and I was in Vegas, and I was talking to the vet, and the vet's like, well, we think we know what it is, but and I said, well, whatever it costs, just do it. I don't care. Just do it. I want to make sure that he's okay and comfortable. And the doctor said, well, that'll be $3,800.
Oh my
And
goodness.
I was like, well, it's been a good run. It's been sorry, bud, but we're at our wits end here with the cash but it was awful. And like, it was funny because the guy said it'd be $3,800, and my first instinct was, man, that would be a killer tattoo of my dog. For
Yeah, right?
$3,800, I could get a smoking tattoo of him. But thank you for bringing it up, man. It was very sad, and it was very hard, but he led a good life, and he brought us a lot of joy and a lot of fun. So we're just very blessed to have had so much great time with him.
I find it very interesting because I've had a dog before and he passed away and it was very sad, but we only had him a couple years. He dealt with some diseases, but it's interesting how as people we buy something that we're going to love that's going to love us, but it's only for 10 years. And like literally you're making, if you're lucky, a 10, 11-year investment, and then you're going to be heartbroken.
And that was the first time I had ever felt like, even though I don't believe it, I don't like when people say, like, I don't have children, but I have pets. It's like, it's not the same,
Yeah,
like,
it's not.
it's
It's
not
not. And
really.
I and I
So
and I wish I could punch those people in the throat that say that. But yeah,
yeah, but that was the first time I felt like loss or grief like that in such a long time. And that was the first time that my daughter has ever gone through it. And that is like such a core. Like, I remember losing my grandfather, and like that was such a core memory. It kind of brought my daughter and I closer together because we both kind of went through this at the same time. And then she basically had her first pet ever die in her arms. Like, that's such a traumatic and
oh my
intimate thing
goodness,
to go through. So to
yeah,
have such a great family and have so many great people around, it was yeah, it was devastating to watch. But at the same time, like, there's silver linings that come out of it. Like, it's hard, but this is going to sound weird, but I'm also kind of glad that my daughter had her first big taste of grief with a pet instead of with a human. Because
yes, that
when
is
my
true.
first dog died, it was a month after my grandfather had passed. And
Wow.
I was already grieving from my grandfather, and then my dog passed, so it was extra hard. I think if it had been the other way around, I think it's like you're easing into death.
Easy there,
And
yeah.
I wish I would have had that opportunity, but
The big question: do you get another dog?
absolutely not. Never.
No,
No,
you
man,
done.
no. And my daughter's getting to that age now where, if she wanted a dog, she could take care of one herself, and she'll be, moving and
Yeah.
going to college. And great, if you want to, go for it. But for me, myself, no, man, I'll get a lizard. I'll keep that thing in a cage in Vegas, and I can be gone for 3 weeks and not have to worry about it. So that would be that. What about you, man? I know you guys, you got the kids. Do they bug you a lot about getting a dog?
Oh yeah, we're getting one. We're getting one. My
You
wife,
are.
my
Yeah.
wife makes all the decisions. Like if you're married, she makes pretty much all the decisions on the dog. But I know I'm going to wind up taking care of it because I wake up
Yeah.
first. That means I'm going to feed it. I'm going to walk it. The kids say they want it, but I will say this: our friends have dogs that are very kid friendly, and our kids they play with those dogs constantly. So I think they would really at least pay attention to the dog and be into it. Where I
Yeah.
think a lot of kids want it, but then they see the responsibilities and the dog kind of fades. I don't think my kids are like that, at least by
Hmm.
the way they treat other animals. Like they light up. You could just see they light up when they see a dog. So I think we're going to get one. She wants to get a King Cavalier. We're trying to have a dog that's chill and not
Yeah.
hyper. That's our thing.
Yep.
Because we had a French bulldog, just me and my wife, and they said that was a chill dog, but that dog has so much energy. Like we have the worst luck. It was
Yeah.
literally like the most hyper French bulldog. And when you're about to walk it, it lost its. I've never seen a dog lose its mind when you're about
Yeah.
to take it for a walk. Just like it would go, it would like it would freak out. And I was like, this is dangerous. I mean, it's crazy because he passed away the day my son was born.
Oh,
So
wow.
we were at the hospital and our my in-laws actually, were with him when he passed. Because my wife was giving birth. Talk about circle of life, right?
Man,
But
wow. That's
when
like
I
that's that live song right there, man.
yeah,
Like one life passes, another begins. That's amazing.
what's great about it, and I understand because we still talk about our dog was named Paul. And
Really? I didn't know that. Oh
yeah,
my God, that's amazing. I didn't know that. Wow. Which
yeah,
Paul was he named after?
no, just Paul. Because I
Just
thought it
Paul.
was
Just A
hilarious.
Paul.
See, we like normal names because when you're
Yeah.
talking to them, people think you're talking to a human. Then they walk around the corner and go, "Oh, I thought you were talking to a person." I think it's funny.
Yeah.
I think it's funny to name dogs like human names, but
Yeah.
Paul, man, we were talking about it's on the other side. Of course, we would want him to live, but he was also so hyper. We probably would have had to get rid of him because we would have been so petrified with our first kid. Like it could
Yeah.
just because if we're about to take him out for a walk and my son was at 1 or 2 years old and he was in between the dog and the door just walking, our dog would mow him over,
Yeah.
would have probably mowed him over, or would have scratched him
Yeah.
or whatever. So it worked out the way it was supposed to work out. But yeah, it was a circle of life moment. It was one life passing, one life coming in. But yeah, but what I was saying is we still talk about him. And he was only
Yeah.
alive like 2-3 years. So that's what's great. And it's the same. And I hate that this podcast, I don't want this podcast to be morbid or anything, but if you make an impact on a person, I love Hamilton, the play, and they have this song they talk about how history has its eyes on you. And basically it's saying that everything you do in life, that makes your history. And
Hmm.
people, if your history is great, people talk about it. And the people you affected talk about you. Like you're making history right now. Like if somebody really loves this podcast and you make a core memory with them, long after you're gone, if they're younger or whatever, they'll talk about it. Oh man, I
Hmm.
remember this time I was listening to this. Or when you're on the radio, I still get stopped from people in Miami. They go, "Oh my God, I listened to you from first grade to 12th grade when I graduated."
Which is also kind of like a backhanded compliment where they were like,
Oh
I
no,
was a
no,
small
it is.
child
It
when you
is.
first started, and now I'm an adult with children. And you're like, oh my God, am I
Yes.
that old?
But guess what? You're a core memory of theirs.
Yeah.
So when you do pass, they'll be like, "Oh my God, I remember that man. He was so." You create your history, and I always think about that song. It says, "History has its eyes on you," and it's like, yeah, yeah, because everybody's making history. It's just
Hmm.
some people are more impactful at it.
Yeah, I tried to like lighten the mood a little bit a couple of times. I was given like a nice little speech right before we put the dog down. And one of the things I said was, I know he was only with us for 11 years, 281 days, but luckily we will forever have his hair all over our couch. And it brought it brought a smile because that dog shed. Oh my God, man!
Oh yeah,
I will be finding hair it'll be under my couch. I'll be finding it for the next decade and a half for sure.
yes.
But yeah, you're right. Yeah, the amount of like just uh, after my cousin had left and Paul was gone, we started looking at some old pictures, and there's a video of the day I brought him home, and my daughter came home from school and saw him for the first time, and just she
Oh,
walked in the
that's
door.
amazing.
Yeah, she walks in and she sees him and she goes, "Is he ours?" And I go, "Yep." And then she immediately bursts into tears and she runs over and she hugs him and she goes, "I love him so much." It was heartbreaking and also like heartwarming, and it was great to watch. And we had these great memories. And then, like an hour later, I opened up my phone and my dog was my screensaver. and I had to change it. I had to change it to something else because it was just a constant reminder of what we've been going through. So I've been taking like a little bit of time off the last 3 or 4 days, and being in Wisconsin the last 5 days has really been a kind of a good distraction from it. And maybe I'm going to probably process this while I'm driving, through Wyoming in 2 weeks, and I'm just going to be a ball of tears on the road. But it was a nice. It was just it was a nice ceremony, and it was great, and he lived a great life, and he brought us a lot of joy. And I think I've got I sing a different tune now when it comes to people and their dogs, and I think I need to be a little bit more empathetic towards those people. I still don't think dogs should be on planes. I don't think they need to be
No,
with you every second of the day.
you can have empathy for a person with a dog and not agree with a lot of things they do with dogs. Just like I have empathy for people with kids, but I also know there are some horrible parents out there. And I see it every single day. Like
Yeah,
awful. And people may say that
yeah.
about us, but it's just manners. It's just people have no people really don't look out for other people. You know what I mean?
No,
Like
man. No.
it's sad because a lot of times me and my wife feel like parents are so nonchalant today. We are almost taking care of their kids at a park. It's like, do you know your kid is about to walk in the street and get
Yeah.
hit by, you know what I mean? It's like people are so nonchalant about it. So it's kind of like is what it is. So yeah, I mean, it's as far as me, I just been in Atlanta shooting this show. Well, we just shot some like promo stuff the other day.
Can you talk
It's
about
it,
like what the game is yet?
it's called Scrambled Up. It comes out the beginning of September 3rd, 4th, 5th, or the 8th. I'm not sure yet. But it's 4 contestants and they try to figure out a scramble. And I give clues and the clues start out hard and it gets easier and easier and the letters just constantly move. So
Mm-hmm.
you're trying to figure it out, you're trying to listen, you're trying to beat the other people. So it's very high stress. And then there's a last round where you got to answer 3 scrambles in 50 seconds to win like $10,000. So
Wow.
and we ran through it yesterday like we did real shows yesterday. It's amazing. Like the
Yeah.
crowd was hyped. It's funny. It lets me shine.
Yeah.
I had a lot of great lines in the career of anything you do. Stand up is about, and I remember when I was on Rogan, this is a couple years ago, he goes, you're a good stand up. Now it's all about visibility. It's all about getting out your name,
Yep.
and some people fall into a big crowd and some people takes 20, 30 years to develop a crowd,
Mm-hmm.
like it's just funny that when I was on set, there was no nerves, there was no scared, there wasn't even butterflies. It almost like, oh, I belong. This is what I was made to be. Like it's kind of like when I went up at Laughing Skull last night. I did a bunch of new material, it worked, and it's kind of like, oh, this is my purpose.
Yeah, I'm not a big Christian man by any means. I believe in some sort of higher power, but my mom has always said, like, why do you stress so much? Like, if you're such a guy who believes that there's already a path that's laid out, why are you worried about it? Like, why
Yeah.
are you just like killing yourself every day? You already know what the outcome is going to be, so just relax and just enjoy the ride. And you're like, oh, that's right, yeah, yeah,
10 years ago when I had this same opportunity, but they would give it to a bigger celebrity. I believe if I would have went on that same set at that time, I would have been nervous. I would have been scared. I still think I would have did well, but I
yeah.
would have had the nerves. It's like my first acting scene when I was on Amber Brown. I thought I was going to be nervous and scared, but I was like, oh no, this is comfortable to me. But I think
Hmm.
stand up, the more you do stand up, the more you can walk into anything and be just like, oh, okay, let's go. Look, I was a host first, but comedy is first now. And I feel like when you're on a show like that with so much money involved, people they're used to people, first of all, just by the attitude of how producers treat me, they're used to talent being a-holes
Yeah.
because you can
Ain't that the
tell
truth?
because they walk on eggshells around you, which is
Hmm.
weird to me because I'm just a normal dude hanging out. I guess comics too are different. You said the point. Comics are the only ones. You could be a big comic and you hear that a comic is there and you're like, yeah, let them back.
Yeah.
We're just those people
Yeah.
where
Yeah.
celebrities, actors, and all that, there's this barrier between somebody coming up and somebody that's already huge. Like if
Yeah.
I'm an actor, I've been in a Apple show, but I could never walk on set at a Brad Pitt movie and go, "Hey, I'm Michael Yo, I'm an actor. I just want to, say hi, Brad." Like, get out of here. But I
Yeah,
do
no,
believe,
yeah, no, you're right,
but
man.
I
Like comics are just so wildly different because I was in Milwaukee last night doing a show for Don't Tell, and there was 5 comics on the show, and afterwards it felt like everybody was just like buds, like we were just like great friends, and I just met these people for the first time, and afterwards I was like, "Hey, can we come to Vegas? We'll hang," and they're like, "Great, you're getting phone numbers, you're doing the thing, you're shaking hands, you're networking." And it's built. The scene is just built differently than any other sort of art or medium.
yeah, but also you're good at that.
Yeah,
That's
I have
your,
to be because I'm not talented. So
yeah,
I have to be. I have to
your
shake hands and kiss
specialty.
babies.
Your specialty is getting numbers, connect. You're great at connecting. That's why I love taking you on the road, man. Like, you know everybody, or you get to know everybody. You're a great representation of a product that we're trying to put on stage. But like, even me at the Laughing Skull, you know, there were people in the green room just talking. I was just kind of writing out stuff. It took me a good 10, 15 minutes before I even said anything. Because I like to just sit and listen to people too, to know
Mhm.
if I even want to talk to them. And maybe that's bad of me, but I'll say hi. I'm very nice. You, I feel, would have walked in that room and be like, "Hey, what's up?" Enjoying the conversation. With me, I'm kind of more of the, all right, let me see if
If
I
you're
want to
worth
be
my
a
time,
part of, if I
yeah,
want to be a part of this
yeah,
conversation. And I just love the grind of
yeah,
watching. When you start doing your own shows and headlining, you lose the sense of other people trying to come up because you're basically in your world, and the people you bring are with you. You know what I
hmm
mean? You're a crew. Y'all experience the same things. They see what you see. To see the grind, it makes you appreciate where you are, but it also in the back of your mind saying, oh man, I need to keep pushing harder."
yeah.
Because these dudes are coming up and they're funny.
Yeah, you got to constantly have a carrot dangled in front of you because if you don't,
Yeah.
if you're not self-motivated like that, like I remember when, my dream job at 27 years old was to do afternoon drive in Minneapolis, and I worked 7 years to get that job. And the day I got it, I got into the studio and went, "Oh, this can't be it."
What's interesting about our career is nothing really gets bigger except the stage,
Yeah,
but nothing else really changes. Where I can tell you in acting, because I've been on low budget stuff and I've been on like an Apple show. And I haven't been on big movie sets. I mean, I've visited them to interview big actors, but that changes.
yeah.
You go from chilling outside in a tent having food to them renting out a whole building just to feed the crew or you have an immaculate trailer all to yourself.
Yeah, and that's the beauty of it, man. Is like you can tangibly see your career getting bigger. I was with I don't mind saying it because I think he's a funny guy and we're friends. But I was with Orny Adams, comedian Orny Adams,
I love
2 weeks
Orny.
ago.
Love it.
He's yeah, good dude. We were in the green room, and they said the host came up to me and said, "So what would you like for me to bring you up as? Like, what are your credits?" And I said, "Well, you say tell him that you know him from the Yo Show." And then the lady walked out, and Orny goes, "That's your only credit? That's your only credit is the Yo Show? When I was your age, I had a Netflix, I had an Amazon Prime, I was on Teen Wolf, I was doing all this stuff." And then I said, "Yeah, Orny, you can tell by the 31 people that are in attendance tonight." Yeah.
He must have loved
And he
that.
was like, "Yeah, touche, touche."
Touche, touche. I
So,
love Orny.
he's the best, man. I love him. Yeah. You want to take a quick break and let's come back and chat about this CEO that is busted at the
Yes.
Coldplay concert? Yeah, that's a big one.
Hey, what's up? It's Michael Yo. All right, here's the deal. I'm on tour right now. It's a true tour. So I'm going to be in Pasadena at the Ice House. That show only has about 10 tickets left. Atlanta, August 15th and 16th. I think michaelyo.com for all the details. But September is really big for me. New York, Gramercy, Houston, House of Blues. We're doing Seattle. Love Seattle. We're doing the Triple Door, one of the most beautiful places I've ever played at. The place is incredible. It's all in Seattle. You sold out 2 shows last time I went. I only can do 1 this time because I think we're doing some crazy trip, right? We're flying somewhere to somewhere.
Washington, D.C. to Seattle.
Yeah, so
Totally across the country.
So we're in Washington, D.C., and then we're flying across the country to do one show in Seattle because it's a Sunday night, so I didn't want to do two. So Seattle, Washington, D.C., one of my favorite places in the world, the Improv. We will see you there at michaelyo.com for all your tickets. Go. This is the Yo Show. Like it, subscribe it. We need you. If you're doing the audio side of it, make sure you give it 5 stars, leave a great comment, and we will read it on the air. Yeah, Rudy, you got a new job. You got to look at the comments because if we get a 5-star, you need to read it on the air, Rudy. If you leave a great comment, we put this on Facebook and YouTube. We'll read that as well because we've been getting some really good comments. So I'll start digging into that on my side and being more responsible. But we want your opinion. You guys make this show happen. So we're going to jump right into it. CEO got caught at a Coldplay concert with the HR person. Now, Rudy, you got any more details on this?
Yeah. So there was a couple of people that were saying that there were employees of Astronomer. Astronomer is the name of the company that the guy was the CEO of. He was a founding member of it. And this woman, I guess, had only been working at this company for like 9 months. So pretty new. She was divorced in 2022. He is obviously married to a woman who's an educator in Massachusetts. And as I was watching the video, when I see it, they had suspected that there was people that worked in the company that were also at the Coldplay concert. And the second I read that, or somebody had speculated to it, I went, absolutely, there's no way. There's no way that that guy was dumb enough to be openly having an affair with his HR person in front of other people that are in the company. So they debunked that. There was nobody else from the company that was in attendance. But the thing that I think most people I have been saying is, why didn't they just hold on to each other? Like, why didn't they just embrace or just give a kiss? Nobody would have known. It's their reaction to being on the camera.
Oh, if they didn't have any reaction, it wouldn't have been all over Twitter.
Yeah.
But I think it would have too, because it would have came out eventually. It would have been, this would have happened 3 days later. Because somebody in that place would have known him and been like, yo,
sure.
Yeah. And then the video, because we live in a society where everybody, if you're on top, they want to bring you down. And I guarantee you there's somebody in that venue that saw him and go, oh yeah, I got it on video. It's going down. It's about to go down. We're about to get him. So I don't believe that it wouldn't have come out. I just think it wouldn't have came out as fast because they look guilty. The best part of it, doesn't mean the memes.
The Philadelphia Phillies, I think, had the best one. Did you see the kiss cam with the Philadelphia? I thought that was top notch. Yeah.
Now, if you didn't see it, here it is. It's pretty incredible how guys still go above and beyond to cheat when there's cell phones, when there's evidence everywhere. Anyone can capture you doing it. And you go to a concert where 10,000 people, maybe 15,000 people, the potential of one person knowing your wife, seeing you there.
Yeah. This was Gillette Stadium, so it was like 70,000 people.
70,000. Like, how is that okay?
I truly think that there are guys in that situation that just want to get caught. That's their thing. Like, if they really wanted to keep it secret, if they really wanted to keep their marriage together, that they would have figured out some way to be able to keep this under wraps. They would have sat back in the shadows of that luxury box. They would have never been out in the open. I think just sometimes dudes just want to get busted. They want something to be the catalyst that sets it over so that they can get divorced or break up with that person.
So they never think that, because I would doubt anybody thinks, oh, this is going to go viral. This is going to be a meme and everybody in the world will be talking about it. So I can understand where you're like, oh, that's not going to happen, because that never even crosses your mind. A couple people see me. Who cares? I don't want to be with my wife anyway. I get that part. But to go to a concert.
That's why like ghosting is such a big thing. Or you know, I used to. I don't do this anymore. Obviously, I'm a much better human being than I was in like my 30s. But
Are
you know,
you?
yeah, slightly, not much, just a little bit. But I would date somebody and they'd be like, "Oh, my friends and I were all getting together at 10 o'clock at this bar. Do you want to go?" And I'd be like, "Yeah, absolutely." And then I just wouldn't show. And that was my way of saying, I don't want to be with you anymore, but I'm having a difficult time trying to put it into words because I
Yeah.
don't want to hurt your feelings and I don't want to look bad. I think
Oh,
this is the same
100%.
thing with this CEO. Is like he probably at some point, obviously, he doesn't want to be with his wife anymore. He has kids. He doesn't know what to do, so he starts this relationship. He goes, he's out in the open with it. He's not probably turning his phone over. He's doing things that are allowing him to be able to get caught so that eventually it pushes him and his wife through the process of divorce. And that's really what he's doing in this moment. I think if you're right, I also think the people that are saying if they would have just, kissed on camera and they never made a big deal, their reaction to it, they've never been in that situation.
Yeah.
You don't know what you're going to do when you're in the middle of having an affair and then both of your faces are up on Gillette Stadium's Jumbotron in front of 60,000 people. You've never been in that situation, so you can't tell me that you know how you would handle it.
It reminds me of when you catch your kid doing something wrong and they just freeze like, that it reminded me of that. It also showed that there was no real love there anyway, because he just bailed on the chick, like
Yeah.
literally ran off. So think about the wife, what she's going through. Even if they were on terms where, look, after the kids get out of the house, we're going to get a divorce. Even if they made that, and I'm making this up. But even at worst case scenario, they don't like each other and they're going to get a divorce. Just think the embarrassment she's going through right now. Or maybe it's not. Maybe it's like,
Yeah.
yo, I'm going to take everything now.
She did already change her last name on her social medias. She did change it all back to her maiden name already, like immediately after this came out. And then some of her platforms, I think she kept Facebook open. I read an article about her. She kept Facebook open, but changed her name back to her maiden name, took down almost all the posts, all the pictures of him and her together, and then also left comments open so people could just openly comment onto her page, and just it's flooded with people that are
Supporting her, I would
oh yeah.
imagine.
And also, you can't imagine the amount of lawyers that have already hit up her Facebook page.
I would have changed my last name to Half. That's it. It would have been whatever her
Yeah.
name is, last name Half.
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 Yeah, it was funny because everybody was talking about they're talking about this guy's wife, but what about the dude? What about the husband of the wife? And luckily, she had been divorced back in 2022. But I was thinking about that. I'm like, yeah, there isn't enough times. There was a story arc on the Righteous Gemstones this year where the gal Judy Gemstone cheats on her husband, and everyone as he's like trying to process and grieve, everyone's just like, shut up. What are you talking about? Like, you're rich, your wife's rich, you don't get to grieve. So what? She cheated on you. Big deal. It's like, well, no, these are actual feelings and emotions. You got to let this process.
But the guy, they were divorced, and I think he owns some liquor company, or he's a part owner in some liquor company. So
really?
That's what I read.
Yeah. As the song goes, part-time lover, not full-time.
What does that mean?
Don't go to Coldplay concerts. Part-time lover? Oh man.
Yeah. So you're saying don't go out in public?
Yeah, man, you keep that. Yeah, you get yourself a spot over at the Marriott. Get their credit card. You can get a nightly deal for $125 a night,
or get an Airbnb where Rudy is.
There's nobody here. Trust me. No one's going to play. There's no jumbotrons. It's like the closest one is like 4 hours away. Trust me, no one's going to know.
You're all good.
Yeah.
All right, guys. Thank you for watching the Yo Show. We appreciate you. Like it, subscribe it. If you listen to it, make sure you give it 5 stars. Leave a comment. We'll read it on there. We really, really appreciate you watching the show. My tour dates, I'm going to be everywhere. MichaelYo.com. After I shoot this TV show, which ends about August 29th, we're going on tour. Me and Rudy are going to be everywhere, and we want to see you there. Where are you going to be next, Rudy?
I'm going to be in. Let's see. I'll be in Atlanta with you. Actually, that'll be the
Yeah.
next round of gigs. So yeah, I'll be there with you. I believe it is the 15th and 16th in Atlanta, and then you and I will be in Utah on the 23rd. End of the month, I'll be at Jimmy Kimmel's Comedy Club with Jamie Lissow. That is August 25th and 26th. Go to rudypavichcomedy.com.
We'll see you next time. Peace.